Hi boys and girls, I hope you're all doing well today. I wanted to do a quick lesson following up on our writing activity from yesterday. So I read to you The Three Kangaroos Gruff. Hopefully you had a chance to do a picture plan. And I've had a chance to do a picture plan, so I'm going to quickly show you what I came up with for my version of this story. So I decided to do the Three Minnows Gruff. So pretty straightforward. Basically, you've got the three minnows, and they're starting to get hungry because their food's running low. So they need to swim upstream past this guy, who is the vicious snake, to get to the better food with the nice algae and plants and mossy rocks. So the littlest minnow tries to get by, and of course the snake stops him. So he says, hey, maybe you should just wait for my next brother, my bigger brother. He's much bigger and juicier and tastier. So the snake says fine and lets him pass. Then the middle-sized brother comes, and same thing. The snake doesn't want to let him pass and says he's going to eat him. And the minnow says, hey, I have a bigger brother. You should wait for him. He will be a big treat. So the vicious snake says fine and lets him pass. Finally, as you can see, there was a bit of a problem because the big brother came, but what the snake didn't know is that the big brother was extremely fast, a very good swimmer. So he swam around in circles, and what happened was the snake ends up getting tied up in a knot and can't get to the big minnow. So he gets past, and they all swim on to the food. So that was my picture plan and my brainstorming ideas. So now I'm going to walk you through turning that into a story. And my hope would be, if you haven't had a chance yet, maybe tomorrow even, you could go ahead and turn your picture plan into a story. Or if you already have done that, maybe you could snap a picture and show me on Fresh Grade. That would be cool too. Okay, so if I'm going to turn this into the story, we have talked about this before, and we know we need to start with something which is a beginning, right? So because we've been focusing on fairy tales lately, that's pretty easy because a lot of them start the same way. Do you remember the beginning on fairy tales? Usually it's once upon a time, right? So here's my title, The Three Minnows Gruff. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to use blue just so you know that that's my beginning. Once upon a time, there were three minnows. All right. So you guys know I usually like to use blue for my beginning. So my beginning's done. I'm just going to move on to black now for the rest until I get to my ending. Okay, so once upon a time there were three minnows. They were happy minnows. But they were getting very hungry. Okay, and don't forget your uppercase at the beginning of your sentences and stop signals at the end. Okay, so capitals, periods. Okay, next sentence. They were happy minnows, but they were getting hungry. They needed to swim up the river to find more food. Okay, so just like in my picture plan, there's more food up here, okay, but then they run into a problem. So I wonder what your problem is in your story. The littlest minnow started swimming, but was stopped by a vicious snake. I like using that word vicious because that's a juicy word. Okay, I'm going to try and shorten this a bit because as you can see, I'm already starting to run out of space. But feel free to add lots of good details in yours. And I'm hoping later this week to do another video just showing you how you can take your story and do some green pencil editing, which we've done before, and you guys know what that means. So making it more interesting and more clear. But I'm going to just shorten my story up a little bit because I might run out of space here. Liz Minnow started swimming but was stopped by a vicious snake. The snake wanted to eat him, but he said, "Wait until my brother comes." He is much bigger than me. Okay. I think you get the point, and I think you guys know how to do this because we have done this quite a bit before. So I'm going to stop my video here, and I'll finish up this story and share it with you in my next video. But I want you to now go ahead with your picture plan that you created and go ahead and write your story about what happened, right? So you want to add detail to your picture plan. Now it doesn't have to be as much as this, but I want to make sure that when you're doing your story that you touch on each one of these parts of your picture plan, right? And if you want to add lots of detail, that's great. Go ahead. I encourage you to do that. Okay, have fun, and I'm looking forward to checking those out later.